Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with drummer and assistant director of the Kansas City-based five-star jazz band, Natalie Bates. The five-star jazz band is a unique North Kansas City Cinderella-success story started in July 2008 by three talented students from the North Kansas City High School. With no money or experience organizing an all-volunteer community enterprise, they set out to form a student-run jazz band comprised of musicians from middle and high schools. And they have done just that. Over the course of our interview, Natalie talked about the band's history, what they want to give to the audience, how they feel about Kansas City jazz, and what the future may just hold. Please dig it, my friends.
Thank you very much for getting back with me and taking a little time to talk with me on jazz. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And then let me go ahead and ask you, you have a real unique approach to kind of keeping the spirit of jazz alive. If there's anything that's really important in the craft, it's that the youth kind of get involved with it, and what you're doing is really bringing the youth aspect into it and rekindling, kind of a glory day of jazz. Give me a little bit of an idea of what you were doing as Five Star.
Well, basically we have a system set up where we let anyone in who is really interested in bettering their musicianship and really learning more about jazz as a whole from the very beginning. And what we offer the kids is some instruction from some UMKC students who are looking to, teach other students what they're learning about improvisation and technique. And then that's at rehearsals, and then when we perform for live audiences. And that's something that, a lot of people don't really have the opportunity to do until later in life. And these kids are getting that opportunity at a really young age. All of the students in our band are ages 12 to about 18, so middle school through high school. And it's great learning to play jazz in that kind of environment, in a live performance setting. That's your main goal, is to perform for a live audience instead of just your parents.
Absolutely. So how long have you been around?
I think we're starting our 8th year this year. We started in the summer of 2009, right when I graduated high school.
Very cool. So what's been the reception from people that want to play in the band? Has it been good?
Yeah, I think they're usually overwhelmed at the very beginning. As a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old, that's a lot to handle. You're with older people. Some people are, at a different level than you are, but it's a process of just knowing that you're learning from the people around you. That it's not like your band class where you're competing against each other. In this environment, you're learning from one another, and you're moving up the longer you stay with the band.
Very cool. What has been the reception from the public that you've been playing for? What are they how are they digging it?
Well, I think it's always shocking to them to know that we have about 6 or 7 different schools represented in the band, since it is a community band, that it's not just one school that is coming together, that all these kids are from different areas of Kansas City, and that we're all able to perform, an average of twice a month in different venues, and come together and put on a show.
So would you say you're probably one of the better kept secrets for a jazz ensemble in Kansas City?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a secret. I think, it's just a matter of getting out there, and who knows about you. I think it's just, wherever we perform, we surprise everyone that we perform for. And right now we're getting some more exposure farther out of Kansas City, and just recently in the Jazz District. And I think a lot of those people have not heard of us before. We've been up north for a while, and now we're kind of spreading out with our performance venues. And I don't know if we're much of a secret anymore. I think a lot of people really know about the band.
Cool. And with that being said, what is it that you want an audience member to leave feeling from the experience that you give them? What's kind of your end goal with somebody that experiences five-star?
I think the goal is to let them know it's almost education through performance, that they learn a lot of jazz standards. They learn a lot about, even between each song, we give a little history about each tune and who wrote it, who arranged it. And a lot of people don't know about that. You don't learn about that in school. And usually a lot of people only learn that just through a hobby. They want to learn more about jazz or whatnot. And I think just introducing people to that genre and that type of music is really important.
Let me ask you this. As a band, who would you say are some of your biggest musical influences from the history of jazz?
Oh, well, we play a lot of Maynard Ferguson, Dizzy Gillespie, Count Basie, Glenn Miller, just a whole lot of, guys that really helped bring jazz to where it is now, and that really influenced even jazz musicians now, that, with their improvisation and arrangement and writing and composing.
What's the future for the band? What do you want to see, say, in 5 to 10 years from now? Let's say we hook back up and we talk and I ask you what's going on. What are you guys wanting to accomplish?
Well, currently we're trying to get a jazz academy started where we can get some, local jazz students and professional jazz musicians in there helping these kids and training them and really getting them interested in jazz and the history, and just really letting them know all the possibilities for them and their instrument, and really making them want to learn more about their craft.
Let me ask you this. What's the greatest thing for you and for the band that you love the most about Kansas City Jazz, the history of Kansas City Jazz?
Well, I love mainly that we're living in a very historical city, that this is where it started and that we're keeping it going. I think that's really important, that we're based, where it really began. And that's just, for me, that's very influencing to know that I'm in such a historical part of the United States.
Beautiful. That's a perfect way to end this. Thanks again for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in New York, Kansas City, and spots all over America, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Natalie for her time, and another gem in the KC jazz world. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store, and you can always visit the neonjazz.blogspot.com for all things Neon Jazz. Until next time, enjoy the music, my friends.
Neon Jazz.